Let's see if this has worked. I don't see. I see some people coming in. We're going to give people some time to get in so that we can talk. Hold on. Let's see. I'm going to tell one of my locations that we're going live. I don't see the Instagram one, so but I do see Facebook. This is literally my first time going live on here. So I'm going to move everyone from my Instagram to my YouTube channel. Hello, everyone. I am just jumping on here to tell y'all to go click the link in my stories to go to my YouTube channel because that's where we're doing the live. Okay? So if it's confusing, it's because I am switching from Instagram to YouTube. And I do have people that are on here. So we're just waiting on y'all. So if you go click the link in my story, you will get to come on to my YouTube channel and watch this live because we're about to get into it. And y'all can engage just like y'all do on here. I just need y'all to go on to my YouTube channel by clicking the link so that we can, get into it. Because I know y'all have questions. Let's see. So if you're jumping on, we're actually transitioning to YouTube. What are we talking about today, sis? We're talking about YFN as well as Young Thug's lawyer who screwed up. Oh, I ain't lying. I'm telling the whole truth. But y'all, all of y'all that are on the live, go to my stories right now. Click the link because I'm about to hop off on here so that I can pay attention to the individuals who are on the YouTube channel so we can get into it. We can talk about it. Y'all can, engage, do whatever y'all need to, okay? Click the link in my story, come to the YouTube channel, and my YouTube people are looking like, what you doing, sis? We ready for the tea. The YouTube channel is in my stories. Go click the link in my stories. I have made it super easy. All you have to do is go to the story, click on the link, and you will see it. Trust me. Okay? So I'm about to hang up here. If you're just joining, go to my stories, click the link, join the YouTube channel because we are transitioning from Instagram because they don't pay no money. We going to where the money resides, okay? So click the link in my stories. I've made it super easy. Come over. I'm about to get off so I can attend to my YouTubers over here, okay? Bye, y'all. And I am here, guys. I'm super excited. This is literally like my first official live that is on YouTube. And to break my YouTube cherry, because I normally guest host on everyone else's platform, that now I am doing my own thing. So today We are talking about YFN Lucci and his sweetheart. When I say sweetheart, y'all, this man that got the deal of a lifetime, considering he was looking at like decades in prison from everything that he was out here on these streets doing. So for them to give him this type of deal, y'all, and we're going to get into it. We're going to also get into Young Thug's lawyer and how he screwed up yesterday. How he screwed up and he's screwing up the case that could affect Young Thug. Like, it was a whole shit show, y'all. A whole freaking shit show. And I'm just sitting there like, you paid them how much money, Young Thug? And they just opened the freaking floodgates? No. So hold on, I'm trying to see if I can get y'all comments. If you're making comments, if you have any questions. But it's not allowing me to see your comments. But it's okay. So to get into YFN Lucci. Now, y'all know I like to break it on down for y'all, like the legal side, so that y'all won't be confused about what's going on in the legal world. So everybody is like, oh my God, YFN Lucci is coming home. You know, he's coming home this summer and he's going to get parole. So let me break it down the legal way before I get into his actual deal. So what we found out today is that young YFN Lucci got 20 years, a 20-year sentence with 10 years probation. So what that means is he has to do 10 of the years that he was sentenced to in prison. And then when he's finished that sentence, he has to start probation for 10 years. Y'all, that ain't no easy thing to do. That's actually hard as hell to do. Hard as hell. Like, I don't know. They literally, and I'm going to tell you my take on it. I think they gave him this deal because they know he's going to mess up. They know he's going to mess up. So that is the reason why they gave him this deal, y'all. So hypothetically, in the state of Texas, because this is Georgia, this is what we would consider shock probation. Shock probation is when a judge says, okay, I want to give you a chance, but you need to do some time first, and then I'm going to bring you out on probation to see how you're going to perform. This is literally what the judge said to YFN Lucci was, oh, yeah, you got all these crimes under your belt. Like, yeah, you know, you ain't too safe for these streets. You out here doing X, Y, and Z, and you want a second chance? Okay, I'm going to give you a second chance, but we're going to put some strict consequences on you. And this is exactly what they did. They literally said, okay, we're going to give you a chance, but we ain't going to make it easy for you. We're going to make you work for this freedom that we are granting you, because we can leave you back here, or we can put you out and you're going to have to live out based on how we want you to live it out. And that's essentially what they did, because he was looking at decades in prison, y'all. Decades. He wouldn't have seen the light of day. We know he been in there getting in trouble. He done got stabbed. Y'all know this man is ready to come home. And I want to get into something before I get into his actual sentence and what it is looking like for him within the coming months. So let's hypothetically say that when he gets out, there's been chatter on the internet and saying that, how did he get such a sweetheart deal? Like, this man was looking at the same amount of time that Young Thug is looking at, and he get out so soon. He gets 10 years, which 10 are probated. Absolutely. And a lot of people think he snitched on somebody, because how you go from a couple of decades to a couple of months left on your sentence. So people are looking, the streets are talking, the birds are chirping. And I don't think that is the case. Like I said with Gunna was not looking at an extensive amount of time. These are state cases, y'all. These are not the feds. State has sentence requirements that they handle based on the state level versus the federal level. State, you are not going to be mandated to do, I believe the feds is still 85% of your time. In the state, some states have it to where you do 1/4, 1/3, 1/2 of your time in order for you to be eligible for parole. I do not think he snitched, but I do find it very, very, very shocking that he took a deal. But I commend his lawyers, because when you have an individual who has status and is looking at a lot of time, like Wyatt and Lucci was looking at, it is definitely a hard management side of having such a high profile client that wants you to pull a miracle out the crack of all cracks that are not visible. And that doesn't happen. You literally have to be real with your clients and tell them, like, say, I know you want to go home, but this is what the state got, and this is what we can do. But we can't perform miracles because you then went out here and left this trail of evidence that now we got to come in and make it seem like it's fugazi. We got to make it seem like that evidence is so delusional that a jury won't find you guilty. But that is literally what happened in this particular matter. This is something that I did not expect. He's literally getting ready for trial. I did not expect Lucci to take a plea deal, but let's think about what the consequences. He was going to be in there with his rival gang. I heard Fulton County, you out there, you are stuck like Chuck, and you can't get up. You can't get up, you can't get out. It's like a melting pot of different hybrid gangs. And what I mean by hybrid gangs, I mean that individuals who are supposed to be part of one gang, but they have come together and made a hybrid gang. That's what they have in these jails now. And it's not a safe space, in a safe place for individuals like Lucci. So what, in a sense, he did, he looked at all of what he was looking at and said, oh, I cannot take this deal, y'all. I cannot take this to trial, because if I take this to trial, the state is going to unleash and we are going to unravel, and I'm never going to see, the streets again. I'm never going to see my child. I'm never going to see any part of my life in existence. When I was at the pivotal stage of my career, I was actually inclining, not declining. So now he's realized the streets don't love me like I love the streets, because the streets was gonna leave me in here. But for my great legal team, they were able to get such a great deal from me to where now I only have a couple of months before I reach the eligibility for parole. Now, let me talk to you about what this looks like, because this, when I say it's not easy, y'all, it is not easy. Statistics show that an individual who is put on probation more than 2 years, the likelihood of violations is very high. It's not low. So some of the restrictions he's going to have, he cannot drink. He cannot he cannot be around individuals who have a criminal history. He cannot be around convicted felons who are in possession of firearms. He can't be around firearms. He can't do any drugs. He has to participate in programs. He has to pay restitution. He has to pay fees. He has to do classes. He may have a curfew. These are a lot of things that he's going to have to do for 10 years. And we're going to touch on the parole, because the way Georgia, based off of YFN Lucci being in since 2021, the way that his amazing legal team set up his plea was to make sure that the state agreed not to object to his ability to be eligible for parole when it's time. And based off of the calculations, because I had to go do my own calculations, because sometimes the streets, the math don't be mathing. So he is eligible for the ability to go before a parole board in 3.5 months. Yep, 3.5 months. YFN Lucci, he gonna be home, y'all. Unless he does something, or this is what will prevent him from coming home. If his behavior in jail has been so substantial that they can't trust him on this go around, and then like, hold on, he needs some more time. Or what they're going to do is look at what he's done, like while he's been in jail, like any groups, things that he's been doing. Who is this calling me? Things that he's been doing in order to make him look like a model citizen that can be rehabilitated. Those are some of the options. I'm not saying that is going to happen. They're also going to look at when he got stabbed. How you get stabbed? What was you doing? They look at those records. Like, you have a file, a disciplinary file, just like you have a good behavior file when you are in jail. You have both of them. So they're going, it's a lot. Plus letters, family members who he's alleged to have committed these acts again, they can come in and testify and say, no, please don't let him out. We don't feel safe. Like, he's going to come after us, knowing that we were, on the witness list for the state. Our family is in fear of our life. We've lost a loved one. They have the ability to come and object to him being released on parole. And they take all of that into consideration. They look at the totality of the circumstances and they say, oh, is this a perfect individual who we think we can rehabilitate, even though he's been there for 3 years? 3 years he's been there. And he has already met the limited eligibility requirements for parole because they gave him credit for the 3 years he's been locked up. So when you're looking at the time accumulated with Georgia standards, he's going to qualify in the next 3.5 months. It's not end all be all, but he's going to qualify, y'all. So when he asked who he do it for, he did it for his family. He did it for his daughter. He did it for, his livelihood. He did it for his own livelihood because he almost died. He almost died in there. Like, the man got stabbed. You want him to stay down? No, Your Honor, what is the minimum that I can take? Because I can't do this no more. I thought I was a big wig. Y'all done broke me on down to little man syndrome. And little man got to get up out of here. Okay? So I'm okay with the decision and how they came to it. This is what we consider great collaborative lawyering. When the state agenda is met and a defense agenda is met, that makes for a great outcome. And what it looks like is that the state and defense put their egos aside and said, this is what we are willing to offer. This is what we are comfortable with. We are comfortable with doing this. So we're going to agree to this. And this is how he was able to get an amazing, I can't say this enough. This is an amazing deal, looking at the long-term effects of what he was going to get, y'all. Shout out to his legal team. We're going to give his legal team their flowers, because his legal team is doing a better job than YSL legal team. And I mean, Young Thug doing a whole lot better. A whole lot. And it's so exhausting to watch Young Thug's legal team make mistake after mistake after mistake. And the state not doing no better either, y'all. It's a shit show. But let me tell you about today, and I'm gonna go into the overall consequences for both of them of what this long-term deal is going to do for the both of them. I mean, for him, and if Thug gets convicted or whatever. So, in today's episode of the YSL shit show, one thing that I reported on early on about this case and how dangerous it was for multiple co-defendants to be on trial together. This is why it's dangerous, y'all. It is dangerous because, oh, wait. I see your comments. I see your comments. I'm so excited. Okay. I'm going to answer these questions and then I'm going to come back to Young Thug. What's that? His whole lifestyle. Yeah. He definitely had a good team. He had an amazing. I want to see his legal team because I want to say kudos, shout out to you. Y'all killed it. Y'all knocked it out the ballpark. Like this man was not coming home, but y'all saved him. And he paid a nice penny. I'm pretty sure he paid over 7 figures for his legal team. Did he tell like Gunna? That's what the streets are going to say. The streets are going to say that he snitched based off of this type of deal. You don't get these type of deals without snitching. But like I said, this is a state case. This is not a federal case. If it was a federal case, then I would have been like, oh yeah, YFN, Lucci said something to get out. But I don't think that's the case. I think he stood on business and I think he stood 10 toes down. And I think he just had an amazing legal team and the state was willing to compromise and come to the table and, ultimately get what they were looking for. If so, it's over. The music will never feel the same again. No, we said the same thing about Gunna. Well, I did because I never said that Gunna was a rap. But what I will say is what his music, when Gunna got out, Gunna album was number 1, y'all. The song, Fuck You Mean, that song stayed number 1 for so long. The people don't care about that. People don't care about the streets. The streets needs to learn how to adapt to the new age. The world ain't respecting the streets like that no more. They don't care. They're going to go and spend their money on what they want to spend their money on. And I don't disagree with them. And I'm glad that they did not cancel Gunna because Gunna is not a snitch. Yeah, he got like 5 kids. So back to Young Thug, y'all, because this is a prosecutor's like big one. Like when I was a former prosecutor, I used to get so excited when the defense would open a door because I'd be like, let me walk in and, and just lean on into this victory I'm about to have. So the dangers of having multiple people that are on trial together, the door can be opened and everybody can suffer the consequences based off of one lawyer's mistake. And that is exactly what happened yesterday with the most prominent lawyer of all of them, Young Thug's lawyer, who's getting paid the most. So what he did was, y'all, we know that the Mr. Stevens, one of the co-founders of YSL, Rock Crew, all that, he was taking the state on a merry-go-round and was turning them every which way but loose. Every which way. And so because we know that, the state was literally surviving. And I was like, this is what you got to do, state. This is how you got to answer the question. But ask the question. But one thing that was very clear, and this is what I said, that Mr. Stevens needs to be careful because he's going to open a door to where his attorney has to testify because he was alleging ineffective assistance of counsel. He kept saying that he did not have enough time to read the plea. He agreed to the plea, but he really didn't understand what was going on. He was doing everything until they had to ring him in, and he came back and he was like, oh, I realized that my deal about to be gone. So let me get it together. So in a sense, what happened after that is the defense had their turn with him. And the one thing that we are taught as lawyers is to pay attention to everything, every word. One of my mentors told me, you don't got to pay attention to their face. Be writing down everything they say, because they're going to say something and it's going to trip, and they're going to open the door, and you just need to be ready to walk in. So Young Thug's lawyer gets up and starts asking him, so these are not the words that came out of your mouth regarding this plea offer. You feel like you was rushed. You was able to come home the following day. I mean, you was able to get out right away after this. You were under duress. He was making all of these claims against the state and his Mr. Stevens' attorney, that he literally opened up the door for them to discuss the plea situation in its entirety, from previous conversations to things that we would have never been privy to. It not only affects Thug, but it affects every other co-defendant, because it's a conspiracy case. And what the judge told Mr. Steele and every other lawyer, I understand your frustration. This is the issue when you have multiple individuals who are on trial together, that something that one defense attorney do can trickle down to the other defense attorney's clients. That's just the risk. That's unfortunately, you get no reward. Your only reward is being on pins and needles to make sure you don't mess up anybody else's case. But Mr. Steele and his Mr. Get It Back in Blood, because he said he was going to give the last drop of his blood to make sure that Young Thug was free. Well, you kind of screwed him. This ain't the first time he done screwed. Like, I'm just like, you so old and seasoned and salt and pepper. How you making these rookie mistakes? I know lawyers that are 2 years in and doing a better job than Mr. Steele in all of his decades and accolades and monetary gains, doing way better than him. Well, let me pause a minute. Make sure y'all are liking this live as well as subscribing, because y'all, this is the Public Opinion Court. We're going to get into it. We're going to have guests. We're going to talk about all the things that are in the legal profession, but we break it on down. Like, where I'm from, I come from the hood. So I am not opposed from getting back to the hood with the law and breaking it down so that my people can understand it. So when they see it and they hear it, they know, oh, you ain't finna play in my face, because I'm about to play in your chest, because I know, because Lawyer Bay told me. So Young Thug's lawyer, they have been on break, y'all, for a day and a half because of this mishap. And you can't undo the will. That's like with the state. If the state does something that they are prohibited from doing, the defense can say, oh, the state has opened the door. We about to talk about everything. It's the rules of evidence. And it's unfortunate, because I really believe that based off of this move, this is like in football. When your team is up, everybody's tied together. They're tied. And it's that one mistake that causes the other team to capitalize and win. And this was a big mistake for the defense. And the state is about to capitalize starting tomorrow, because the judge sent Mr. Stevens home, and he's going to be back testifying about the door that Mr. Steele opened. So when you're looking at everything and people are like, well, why is Mr. Steele up here testifying for 45 days? Because that's what it feels like. I'm over exaggerating, but it's literally been like almost 2 weeks, y'all. And they're looking and saying, well, I don't get it. I don't get what and why this person is still testifying, but I get it because he's literally proven each and every element that the state needs him to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, it took a long time to get him there. But he's there now. And the state has literally ran down each and every element through him. He has admitted that YSL is a gang. He has admitted that each member had their own identity, but they understood that having that street mentality and that street persona and that street notoriety was pushing the narrative for YSL. I'm like, sir, you didn't just prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt. And make no mistake, there are the state is not doing their big one with this because they making mistakes too. But the elements are so easy to prove, y'all. So easy. So I don't know how he comes back from this starting tomorrow, because I'm going to be tuned in. I'm going to be glued in. My eyeballs going to be looking like, okay, state, you on the clock. You got your chance. You better show up and show out. You better have on your nice suit tomorrow, because the way you better be strutting up and down doing that evidence, it better be legendary, because that's what I want to see. I want to see some legendary redirect on the door that Mr. Steele opened. They need to capitalize. They need to hammer it down so that the jury can know this is a gang. They conspired to commit crimes. They conspired to create an unsafe environment. They need to be doing that. If they don't do that, at that point, I'm gonna be like, let me phone a friend, because I know somebody probably in that office, or somebody can get to this person, because they need to stop playing. Because this is the state. The state been pissing me off. I'm just gonna say it. They've been pissing me off, because y'all are too seasoned to be making these mistakes. Same for the defense. The defense is not off the hook, y'all. The defense is just as doing a lot of things, and it's irritating the judge. What details about the plea? Kimberly K., when you say what details, what are you looking for, so I can break it down for you, sis? But or are you asking me to go over what YFN Lucci is looking at? Because that's what it sounds like. But I want to make sure so I can break it on down for you. So while I wait for Miss Kim to give us her response in the comments, let me just go back over YFN's plea agreement. So he got 20 years, 20. Half of it has been probated. So 10 of those 20 have been probated. The 10 that have not been probated, what the judge essentially did was gave him credit for the 3 years and some change that he's been in. So based off of Georgia law, he now becomes eligible for parole in 3.5 months. Oh, okay. So Kim wanted me to talk about something else. Thug's lawyer mentioned. So what is coming in for for Thug is the plea for Mr. Stevens. So the details about the plea now becomes relevant to a certain extent, based off how the negotiations and the conversations that were in the entanglement that should have stayed in the entanglement, but Mr. Steele made them come out of the entanglement. So in a sense, because the way Steele was asking Stevenson those questions to make it seem like he was under duress, and too much under duress to make an informed decision about this plea. So what they're trying to essentially say that the state did a rush job just so they can pin this on Young Thug. But hold on. Mr. Steele said, when the judge asked, do you want this to come in? because this means your lawyer, conversations with your lawyer is going to be a part of the record. Conversations that are technically private and confidential based on attorney-client privilege. Mr. Stevens said, bring it all in. I want him to know. I want him to know. So it's going down tomorrow because Mr. Steele couldn't satisfy that itch he had in order to stay in his lane and not mess it up, not only for his clients, but for the other lawyers and other defendants. When I tell you them lawyers were hot, they were hot like hot sauce, y'all. They were like, I didn't say this, Your Honor. And Your Honor's like, I know, but it is the law and it's the risk that you run if it's a conspiracy case. The law is the law. And so the attorney is still going to be, Your Honor, this is not right. This is a constitutional violation. You know, all of the salt and peppers that have been practicing for 50 years now won't give it up because this is their only thing they can do and they want to do that's easy for them until they meet this kind of case. This kind of case that have them locked down for 4 months of their life and two years and some change already. Or has it been 3 years, y'all? It's been 2 or 3. I thought Thug went in at the end of 2021. 2023 is when Gunna got out. Now we're in 2020. Yeah, I mean, hey, it is what it is. But that's literally what's going on. YF and Lucci got an amazing deal. I used to do those kind of deals all the time, rightfully so, not out of desperation or anything. If the individual's background fits this type of offer, then we just gonna do it, y'all. They did it. And shout out to his legal team. And shout out to the state today in Thug's case for realizing that the defense opened the door for them to get into some things. And they're getting into some things that are not good things for their clients. And that's really, really bad. But to each his own. This case is still going. It's still a shit show. And we are just here to enjoy the ride. I'm just here to report on the news. This is the public opinion court where we know, one, the truth ain't reality and but opinions are. On top of that, this is going to be where I do all of my lives that are substantial to cases, reporting on things, going to, so you need to be liking and subscribing to get the notifications so that when I do go live, and I plan to go live, which I give y'all more than enough notice, that y'all will be able to tune in, come with your questions. You see, the comments are on, but I really need y'all to do me a big one and like and subscribe. Like, I really need y'all to do that for me so that my audience can grow, so that my channel can grow, because the more I grow, the more that you all will grow with me. So thank y'all for tuning in to my very first YouTube live. Like, that is crazy. Like, shout out to Jessie Woo. Jessie Woo went into my comments and said, sis, you need to put this on YouTube. And sis put it on YouTube. I made the announcement that starting yesterday that I was going to be doing lives on YouTube. And I didn't pop my cherry. And I'm glad. Like, I'm no longer a YouTube live version. And that's the thing. But I thank y'all for coming in, tuning in. I really appreciate y'all. Everyone that came from Instagram to here, tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe, like, and follow your girl so that we can continue to get into the public court's opinion about a lot of things that is going on. I think this week I'm going to be also reporting on Funny Willis, giving y'all an update on that. It's some more stuff coming up with these celebrities that I'm going to be breaking down. I'm going to have special guests. When I say special guests, I'm talking about the ones that, y'all be thirsty over. The ones that look good, smell good, and report even better. So keep on the lookout. But thank y'all. And until next